All right, so let's get crack-a-lackin'. Um, Anthony, just introduce yourself and the show, and let's just do it.
Is that always be closing lit?
Yes.
It lights up? I didn't know that.
Yes, it does light up. And
Oh,
I'm trying to get it like I'm at my new desk, like the new desk setup. So there we go. That looks better.
Ah, I like the little omen over there. Always be closing money tree and the money candle.
Yeah, that's my
represent.
you gotta light the candle, Anthony. That's the point.
Yeah, I know. Let me light it right now. The problem is the lighter's too small, so I can't.
You gotta get the long lighter, or the long
We'll do it later.
mattress. Well, let's talk about that later. So
All right, guys.
Go ahead.
Anthony Angelillo, branch manager over here with Paramount Residential Mortgage Group, CEO, founder of Tag Team Nation, and just won Scotsman of the Guide top originator of the year. So really proud, and that's thanks to that young gal over there, Sarah, one of my processors, and the entire team. So very thankful, and to our agents that support us, very thankful to be in Scotsman Guide. And top originator of Miami Agent Magazine, and co-host of Damage Control, this wonderful series. So we're really thankful for our followers, our subscribers, and Stefanie, we are stoked to have you on this show because you've got good energy. We've listened to you on one panel, and you got some good tips, man. So I'm pumped.
Yes, we're going to have a great show. Hi, everyone. Melinda Grimaldi, real estate title attorney, Grimaldi Law Firm, the Closers Title Insurance Company. We also got an award this week from our underwriter for being a Gold Star top producer in terms of the amount of business we brought in. So thanks, guys, for helping us make that happen, too. It was a good year last year. So with that being said, I'm so excited to have Stefanie. She's a friend of mine. She's someone I look up to. She's doing so many things all the time. It makes me think like, why am I not doing more things? Because look how many things. It's so good. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself into all the things that you've been doing these days. And then we'll get started with the show.
All right. Well, how am I not surprised on all these awards? You guys are always like crushing. I love it. Being surrounded by greatness. It's so good. So good. So yes, my name is Stefanie Peters. I am a national speaker, best-selling author of the book Unleash Your Lady Boss, and the founder of The Boss Life. And I love helping entrepreneurs, real estate agents to create multiple streams of residual income, truly like revolving around their passion zone so they can stop like trading hours for dollars. They can build that financial freedom for themselves and make the impact that they're called to make. And so it's been so fun collaborating with powerhouses like Melinda and Anthony and just taking it to the top together. So that's what I got.
Good stuff. All right. So we have a few things we have on the agenda. You know, we have a pretty informal agenda when we talk because we like to just see where the genius kind of flows to. Like it usually just happens. It just usually happens that way. But you're gonna be getting a worksheet after the show that's designed by Steph, and it's about staying in your zone of genius. So I want to stop right now and just talk about what is the zone of genius, and then we'll take it from there.
Yes. Because I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we tend to wear like all the hats and do all the things. And when you're starting up, sometimes that's the only option. But as you start to power forward, one of the things that I see that is like a self-limiting belief is they have to do all the things for everyone and they have to be the go-to guy or the go-to woman. And that truly puts a lid on their business. And so what I define the zone of genius is what is your special sauce? Where do you light up? What are the things that you do better than anybody else with excellence and cannot be outsourced? And then one of my biggest mantras that I'm always telling my team is automate, delegate, and eliminate. Because then you can keep running after the things that you're amazing at, your IPAs, your income producing activities, to take your business to that next level. I'm telling them all the time, there's two zones: your IPAs, your income producing activities, and then your joy producing activities. If it's not one of those two things, get rid of it.
But get rid of it. Maybe not. You can't just get rid of it. Sometimes it still needs to get done, right? You gotta get rid of it for somebody else to do. You gotta find another way to accomplish that task or whatever the case may be. Because there's certain things that are like maybe not right the funnest things to do that we don't give us joy. They don't make us money, but they still gotta be done.
100%.
Like grocery shopping.
Yes, exactly. There's an app for that.
There is definitely an app for that. That's how I grocery shop. I was asked yesterday by a friend, like, how, like, they're like, oh, how are you doing? I'm like, well, it's a bit of a crazy week. I'm not gonna lie. You know, like we had furniture delivered at the house. We're expanding at the office, just launched another company. The show is like now a company. And like, so I'm like running all these things. I'm trying to hire. I'm actually feeling pretty overwhelmed these days just because there's so much happening all at the same time. Plus we're renovating at the house. We're renovating. It's like, there's too much stuff. So that's just it's part of the growth. It's like, it's almost like it's the discomfort that comes with the growth that you have to just like push through. And she asked me, but how do you do it all? I go, I leverage anything I can. So whether it's an app, it's support, it's my team, it's VAs, it's whatever you can, find a way to get it done. So that's kind of like plays with this, because this discussion that you have on the Zone of Genius is, if you can't, if it's not really that, like going for groceries and getting champagne for the closing room or going out and looking for wallpapers, I can't do that right now.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time.
100%. Cleaning or doing your lawn or any of those things, like just get rid of those things off your plate. There's someone, I have in that worksheet, it breaks down into how much do you want to make per year? And there's like a whole formula that you can break it down with. This is how many weeks I want to work per year. This is how many hours a day I want to work per year, And then at the end of it, okay, if that's truly your goal, then this is how much you're worth per hour. If you are doing something else below that dollar per hour, then who can you outsource it to get rid of it off of your task list? The other thing is I'm always telling my team is you want to be so cognizant of what are you doing on a regular basis? Like write it out hour by hour by hour, because there's so many things that we feel we need to do. But when you actually take a step back at the end of the day, I actually didn't need to do that. I didn't need to troubleshoot that. Like there's other people around you that's more of their zone of genius. Like let them take it, let them fly. Because the more that you give your team a leadership role, the more that they're going to take responsibility and the more that they're going to be able to soar. A lot of times we are our own like stopping block.
That's for sure. So a lot of people listening may not have necessarily a team, right?
Sure.
A team where they have, whether it's an assistant or a buyer's agent, or they might be working towards that goal to expand their team. So do you have any suggestions for ways? I mean, we spoke about a few, like even just the groceries, app, using that to leverage some time, but do you have any other suggestions on how they could leverage or outsource when they don't have like full-time staff on their payroll?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're a prime example of hiring people from the Philippines at how many dollars per hour, way less than in the States. I mean, $4 or $5 an hour, you can even bring someone on part-time. Or like with your kiddos, like if they are, let's say, a little bit older, but they're not quite a teenager, put them to work on the different chores. And then they get certain things when they get, let's say they accomplish 5 of the tasks for the week. So don't feel like as a mom or as a dad, you have to take all of that on your own. And then there's lots of different, like I had mentioned, apps. Those are all like little hacks that can be really, really effective.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let me slow down here because I'm thinking of so many things. What if it's something that you love to do? Get rid of it. Doesn't matter. If it's not making money, get rid of it. Friends, family, whatever the case may be. If it's not making money.
That's not what she said.
No, so there's two.
That's not what she said.
She said income producing activities. All right. So
or joy producing.
What if I'm a mother, father that wants to go to the grocery store to appease the kids and it doesn't make money? It's a chore.
Okay, so
but it's an activity that they do with the kids to enjoy family time. What do you do then?
that would be a joy producing activity. If you really enjoy it or it brings your children joy, by all means do that. But I always want to be thinking about, do I want to be in the short-term sacrifice for the long-term gain? And what is their definition of success at the end of the day? Because there are some people that just tell me that they're like, I only want to make 6 figures, or I only want to make, $500,000, or I only want to make whatever that is. Well, then they know how to run their lifestyle accordingly. I'm not saying that everyone needs to only be in their IPA zone, but you don't want to disillusion yourself in saying, I want to be at $500,000, I want to be at $1 million, I want to be at all of this, when you're not making the sacrifices here in order to get to that. And it's only a season that we have to be so laser focused. Like even in my first business, I was a marketing rep for an Inc. 500 company. I actually still manage my teammates, and I built a marketing team, or an international marketing team, throughout the US. And so I was all in for 4 years. Like even Grant Cardone talks about, I wasn't eating, breathing, and sleeping it. I was swimming in it, but it was for a period of time, 4 years. And that set me up with such phenomenal residual income that now I don't have to put in the hustle and the grind, because I've built the leadership team. I put in the time and effort to build the foundation of the empire, so that it's very easy for me to maintain that business now.
So there you go. That's exactly where I was going to. That's my next question. So I want everyone watching that just because you delegate doesn't mean you need to not train. You have to train. You built that team personalized the way you want it and your business to be ran, basically, right?
100%.
And something that I learned in my coaching program, which is super important too, is you have to delegate but not abdicate. So you're still responsible for what your team is doing. You're still responsible for reviewing what's happening, whether it's a VA, a in-person team, a buyer's agent, a transaction coordinator, whatever, is part of your team now. You can't just say, okay, F it, like I'm done now. Like you got to now go run with it, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's still part of, as you do that, you still have to have that review function, and systems and strategies of building out infrastructure or how that helps you do that more efficiently.
Yeah.
But you can't just say, okay, I'm assigning this to you now and I don't want to know about it anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
You can't expect what you don't inspect, right? Like you really do have to be keeping people's feet to the fire, because they will slip underneath the fence all the time if you don't have like, okay, well, what are the KPIs? Like, are we hitting our numbers in order to keep it a well-oiled machine? We can set it up, but people are people. There's the human element. So.
Right. So I remember I had someone on my team was like, I think something's wrong with the program. I'm like, it's probably user error. Let's figure it out. And it was. So we joke about it. I think it's a user malfunction, not the program malfunctioning. Although it is possible. But one thing about Stefanie, she always has, I think Bethany calls them Stephisms, or who calls that, or somebody does. And she always comes up with, she has so many one-liners.
I can't even get anything in. I keep writing them down, man.
I'm so quirky. It's ridiculous.
I love it.
So, Steph, what's crazy? This all boils down to systems. I went to the dentist yesterday and I saw the receptionist. I saw the patient care assistant. I got a cleaning. I saw the dent. It's organized to the point where it was like perfect. And I'm like, this is why they're doing so well. There's no secret sauce, man.
Remember, I told you the same experience with my dentist. I went into this dentist office and literally they thought of everything, even the shelf to put the glasses on if you wear glasses.
Yes. Yeah, dude, I had
and the hook for the women's purse and like all these little things. I'm like, wow, this is really well thought out. And they had the intake and they had like the whole, it was played out and you could tell they're a chain, but you could tell that a lot of time and energy went into the process and the experience of the customer. It was so good.
Now, Steph, let me ask you a question. Do you change your process for any clientele like that comes in? Does everyone get the same treatment, or do you ever make exceptions?
There definitely are exceptions. I mean, every person is different. And so when I'm bringing people on my team that have a lot of skills in place, I can treat them more as a leader. There's other people that I bring on my team that don't quite have the skill set. So there's going to need to be a little bit more hand holding. And I'll actually take one of the other leaders on my team and have them mentor them through that to make sure that they get, on track and a little bit more hand holding. Every person is so different. I try to keep a well-oiled machine, but at the end of the day, you gotta make sure that one way or the other, you're tweaking it a little bit for the talent that comes on.
Love it, man. God, this is amazing stuff. And do you think agents have a tough time delegating because of expenses? I mean, when you're a new agent, you're literally living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
If that. And so I think they don't want to give up partial of that paycheck to delegate something they can do. But the realization of it is, shouldn't be doing grocery shopping. You should be prospecting, right? Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things where when people take the leap and they want to be an agent full time, it's grind time. But I really, my heart goes out to those people that are like, I just have to do all the things. I just don't have the income in order to outsource these things. Well, you're going to continue to be in that rat race if you don't take a step back and think, okay, what are like little things that can make all the difference in the world? Like an hour a day can be a game changer if you turn it into a power hour, if you turn it into a prospecting hour. So what you have to go back to, what is your time worth? And if you truly believe in your goals and your dream and your vision, you are going to pay to play. Like even early on in the game, when I started my first business, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Even though that I didn't have the income to be able to put out to up level my skills, I hired a coach. I was scared shitless to do it. But at the same time, I knew listening to enough personal development is that I have to pay for speed, because success loves speed. And if I didn't get myself on that level, I was just going to keep spinning my wheels. So you want to get really crystal clear on your long-term vision, and that will help you to take a deep breath and know that the money will flow, but it's not going to, scared money doesn't make money. So, you got to put in and trust yourself and have that faith that I'm going to succeed no matter what.
This is amazing information. I could talk to Stefanie all damn day.
I know.
Honestly, you know what? I'm looking at it in my own process, and we now got rid of a lot of stuff. Like we're not doing a third. We're doing a third of the programs that we offer, but those programs, the margins are slim. There's too many bottlenecks. The service levels suck. It's awful, right? So you're telling me success loves speed. Well, we can close within 14 days on the core products. Why are we not doing that? That's what we should be doing. Core products, margins are greater. We're paying for speed. We've got an amazing team. So now, in essence, I should be scaling my volume by focusing on that type of program, is what you're basically saying. If I'm an agent, then you should focus on what you need to be your skill set. If it's high end, or if it's going to be condos, or if it's going to be single family, your price point, they should break it down on what they want to, because I feel like agents just take on everything. I'll take a 50,000, a 500,000. And the reality is I don't know if that's efficient, man.
But even when she's saying, the success loves speed, is that what you said? Is that your,
that's
so,
great.
but you sometimes you gotta pay to be sped up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You need to have a coach that can literally kick you in the butt. My first mentor, he always told me, and I love this. He says, don't be too hard on yourself, but don't let yourself off the hook. Like, get in the game, and you want to go pro as quickly as possible. Devour the skill set, devour everything you need from a mindset standpoint in order to become the best version of yourself before you're actually there. Like you need to faith it till you make it. And like one of the, I was actually listening to a podcast this morning. I freaking love, I'm going to botch his last name. You guys all know who he is. Is it Ryan Serhart? Is that what it is? Anyways, he just put out a book. It was a podcast with Ed Milet and Ryan. Oh my gosh. phenomenal. And he was talking about like how he was so out of his element. He didn't hardly do any transactions, but he showed up like he was the man. And so often a lot of agents, they'll just second guess themselves of, oh, I haven't done the transactions. I don't have what it takes. You know what? Who's telling you that? Like, you have everything inside, but as long as you can align with the right people, your network is your net worth. Get in the rooms, pay to be in the essence of greatness, because they aren't going to let you play small.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Do we want to pivot, or do we want to? I mean,
I'm up for whatever, friends.
This is honestly, this is amazing. So let me ask this question. So you're hiring. How are you physically hiring? You obviously are hiring slow, and your vetting process must be
firing fast. You hire slow, you fire fast.
I told you that, Anthony.
Let me tell you, I made the mistake of hiring fast because I was like, oh my gosh, we got to put the right people on the bus. Well, I didn't put the right people on the bus, and it blew the bus up. It was really aggressive. And I was just like, okay, well, I learned from that. And even same thing with partnerships. Dear Jesus, I learned a very valuable lesson last year. Like, don't go into business with the person that you're dating. I'm just saying, like, maybe down the line, who knows? But for me, I was like, you know what? We need to be able to keep business, and pleasure. And maybe down the line you will, but I jumped in way too quick, and the business was going amazing, but it blew up because I didn't realize that morals, values, ethics were completely on different levels. It was a mess, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. And so, you know, the theme of the show was investing in yourself, investing in real estate, investing. So really, you know, by investing in some coaching to keep you on track, investing in hiring the right team. Because listen, let me tell you right now, we are in desperate need, but and I'm getting opportunities, but I'm not taking them because they just are not the right fit.
Yeah.
I had one, she was great, but she's moving to the Gables. I'm like, that's not going to work. It's going to be over an hour commute every day. You're not going to last here.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work. And it's just going to create, like, although how desperate I want someone, so, you know, especially like I'm feeling that way right now, you know, but I know that when you hire fast and you don't take the time to really analyze the situation, it definitely will bite you in the, you know what. So, and that's just me investing in my team, because it's a part of the process. So investing in yourself can look different. What other ways can someone invest in themselves personally?
They can invest in themselves, like masterminds. Masterminds are game changers. Like, being able, I always will ask someone that I'm coaching is, okay, where do you ultimately want to go? Who has done what you want to do? How can you get in their presence ASAP? Do you need to pay for it? Do you need to listen to their podcast? Do you need to read their books? Do you need to reach out to them and ask if they would mentor you? Like, even early on in the game, in my first business, I literally didn't know what I was doing. I was 18 years old, no prior business experience. People were not taking me serious. And I was hustling and I was networking like I was running for governor, but I was going nowhere super fast for the first 6 months. And I'm like, what is going on? Well, number one, it was a heart shift. I was running towards the goals are great, but it's the person you become on the way to the goal that is the most important thing. And I was so about the titles and the accolades and all the things. And that's not bad. A lot of type A personalities run towards that, but you want to make sure that your heart is in the right spot. And you should also run towards your why. Like, goals are awesome. I'm all about them. Titles, accolades, they're awesome. But in my opinion, they are icing on the cake. And so I really had to get my heart right. And then once I got my heart right, then I was like, okay, who can help me to get there? So I called up this guy and I said, hey, you don't know me from Adam. I just listened to you on an executive director series CD. I will pay you whatever. I'm young, I'm hungry, I'll be your assistant, whatever you need from me. And he's like, I see myself in you. I will coach you for free. And so I did pay him. But nonetheless, like I wouldn't have become the youngest female senior director in that Inc. 500 company, or the youngest female executive director in the history of a $2 billion company if it weren't for the mentorship of that one man. And so I'm so, so grateful. Get in the room with the right person.
How do you align yourself as an agent with the right people? Define the right people. I know this is a tricky question, but like, I feel like agents are going from lender to title company to agent, and it's just, and same with lenders. They're going to realtor, no one, and you're not truly having a good relationship. How do you align or find that person?
And it takes a while. It doesn't happen overnight. I'd love to tell you that, oh my gosh, just like build that A team or build that tribe. Like even I write about that in my Boss Life Blueprint, my book of like how to build out your dream tribe. And there's 4 different sets of your dream tribe, and how to get really strategic is, it's some troubleshooting. You're going to have to interview people. You're going to have to, partner with some people without partnering. Like I've worked with a lot of different lenders. I worked with a lot of title companies, and some of them weren't great. But one of the things that you can do is you can reach out to a title company or a lender, or even someone that you could want to collaborate with, and ask, like, who are 3 different people that you've had great experiences with that I can actually call and talk to? I just would love to hear their feedback, because if I would have done more of my due diligence and my homework early on in the game, it could have helped me to sidestep some crazy. Awesome. So I think you got to do some due diligence.
Sidestep the crazy.
Yeah,
I love
awesome.
that.
So you were interviewing the people, like physically. See, I'm trying to take what you're saying and put it into the real estate world.
Yeah.
She's saying, folks, is that she is interviewing the lender, the title company, the insurance person, the inspector. She wants to know they're aligning in her sphere of influence to understand that they're on that level. If they're not on that level, okay, that's fine. Maybe you need time to get on that level, but you should be surrounding yourself with people that are pacing at better paces than you are if you're a runner, right? So if you're playing with the big folks, then you're going to become that person.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing.
Then don't forget, like, there's going to be times in your growth where you're going to need to find new spheres, new circles,
1000%.
right?
Like if you continually have that same circle, once again, like I said before, your network is your net worth. Like it's not going to go up if you don't keep up leveling. You can still keep those people in your circle, but I have outgrown a lot of my coaches through the years. Like they were great for that season. That's what I needed. But I knew that, okay, I'm being called to that next level. I'm being called to that next level. Okay, who's that next person? I never want to keep my A team and my tribe the same. I'm always bringing in new talent. I'm always, thinking about I love even my podcast of being able to interview some other people, on my podcast, and that can expand my reach. If someone is like a new agent and they're getting their feet on the floor, like even having some type of a podcast that they can put out into the world, and then they can network with other ballers and expand their network that way. Like give those potential like big boys a reason of why they should connect with you, because people are always asking in their head, what's in it for me? So if you can paint that picture and vision of what's in it for them, and it's truly a partnership and it really adds to the bottom line of their business, they're going to take you all the way to the promised land.
Love that. Someone's asking what different coaching you've done. Can you elaborate on the different types of coaching you've done,
so
whether topics or coaches themselves?
So I've done tons of different coaching. So I coached and trained for Dale Carnegie when I was a teenager. And then I became a John C. Maxwell certified coach. And I've done anywhere from like leadership trainings to team building to, I even will train a lot of different agents, or like even next week, the reason that we had to reschedule this is because next week I'm going to be driving out to Clearwater and teaching a whole group of agents how to continually like up level their personal business, how they can take their mindset to that next level, how they can put their goals together, their dream routine, their daily mode of operation, so that they have a well-oiled machine. And wherever that gap is, let's bridge that gap. Let's get you there quicker.
Wow, man.
So.
Love it. So good.
And
It's like,
Melinda,
it's
I
like
gotta say,
pause.
I learned so much from you. Like, it was so fun having you be a part of my Fire Your Fear mastermind. And I learned so much from you. Like, it's so cool when you like step out in faith and you do the coaching, you do the masterminds, you do the workshops. Like, I've done a number of goals, dreams, attitude, and success seminars through the years, and teaching on investing, how to create those multiple streams of income for yourself. And those type of events attract other incredible human beings. So it's so fun to be able to put those on and yeah, connect.
For sure. Yes. It was such a great weekend. Loved it. And took away some good things from that for sure. So speaking of your empire,
Yeah.
right? So as part of this workshop that we did, she has literally, it looks like a little Empire State Building with like 8 tabs that come out, which has now made it to my vision board. And each one of these lines, okay, is different ways you're like earning income, right? So I have my firm, then I wanted to launch a title company, so I had it there. I have damage control on there. I want to start putting my investments in real estate on there, and then we'll see as things go along what the others will be. But it's amazing how you already, I mean, we're pretty much the same age, and you have like, I think like 15 streams of income or something crazy like that. Almost.
How many? How many do you have? How many streams of income do you
I
have?
have 7 streams of income. I mean, there's little streams as well and whatever, but I don't count the mini ones, whatever. But like, well, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. And so I'm always building out, like, how can the one thing that's really important as a new entrepreneur is to build the base, the money maker, the foundation. Don't feel like you have to create all these streams of income, because then otherwise you are going to, like, if you aren't focused all in on that one thing for a period of time, you're going to screw yourself over royally.
Yes.
So
You can't be jumping. Like, if you don't have your real estate, everyone here that's on the show or watching the show is likely in real estate in one way or another. We're not trying to tell you like stop focusing on your real estate business and go open up other little things or start making bracelets or something, what we're telling you is, you build your foundation, build a team, the infrastructure for that one main business, and then that you, by growing the team or freeing up some time with then you could leverage and start, whether with money or with time, you start to leverage and create other line items.
There was a guy that came in for an interview, and he was a certified public accountant. He had his Series 7-6 in life and health. Okay, so financial advisor. He was a real estate agent, had his license, and now he wants to become a loan officer. I said, thank you, but no thank you.
Sweet Lord. No.
There's no such thing as, unless you're a hecto-millionaire or you're a billionaire, then you can do that. But someone that's coming in for an interview, I've got all this, dude, you got nothing. You get yourself so thin that you're not making anything.
Oh, so, amen. Amen. Anthony, like that's actually one of my pet peeves, because when people don't even have that first thing going on for themselves, they're trying to do the second and the third. And I'm like, oh, baby girl, like, please stop. Like we need to literally, well, even at the beginning of my career, I was all in for 4 years. And that's why I shattered the glass ceiling for women. And then once I got that as a well-oiled machine, then in year 6, that's when I founded Lady Boss Empire. And then, and actually just so a couple years into that first business, I started to make some really good money. That was that business actually helped me to build that first $1 million income. So I started to invest that into real estate back in 2008 when the bubble burst, that could work in tandem with what I was already doing. Because when you are making really good, solid income, you want to have your money work for you. You don't want to just keep, trading hours for dollars. You're going to set yourself up for massive burnout, and you're going to be in the rat race. Like, you need to think about the long term. Like, what is your exit strategy to these different businesses? So then once I built that first business, and then Lady Boss Empire started to create legs, then I was like, okay, now I can really start dialing into the real estate arena. I was just, buying a couple of properties at the beginning, but then I really started to heat it up as I went along. But I had that first solid stream of income, and I had my leaders leading. And even last year in COVID, that first business, I made more in that business, hardly putting in any time, because I had amazing leaders and I had the leverage, and I just kept managing my team, but I didn't put much time into it, but I got the train going.
So good. So someone asked if all your streams of income are in real estate. They ended up in real estate now, several of them, but it didn't start in real estate, right?
No, I was a marketing rep.
The book must be a stream of income. So that's
Yeah, absolutely. The book is a stream of income. The courses are a stream of income. My speaking is a stream of income. My workshops are a stream of income. My buy and holds are a stream of income. My Airbnb is a stream of income. My first business that I started from the ground up, that's a stream of income. But they all, they really all do work in tandem with each other, because even the principles that I learned from my first business and the leadership and all the crazy that I went through, I can teach of like, this is how hell broke loose, and this is what's got me to where I am.
But that's so true. So that's exactly for Anthony and I, that's kind of exactly, we build our businesses, learn so much in the industry and as business owners. And that's what we're flipping into damage control, because like we can't hold this all in. We need to share it, so that's kind of how this all started, and is evolving now. So with time, we'll see where it goes, but it'll be good stuff.
So
good
powerful.
Stuff.
Stop trading hours for dollars. I love that. Make your money work for you. I love that. I mean, those of us that are in real estate should be taking this advice, period. Like there's no excuses. Amazing stuff. I mean,
Steph,
wow.
if someone came to you like when you were in your first, second year of like growing that first business, and what would you have wanted to tell yourself? Never mind somebody else. What would you tell yourself in that first, second year? If you had to go back.
Just cool your jets, you'll get there. Like I was so all in, and everything was such a big ordeal. I was a freaking teenager, and I was taking everything so personal. And then finally, I remember going to an executive leadership council, and like the guy that was in the movie, oh, what was the name of the movie? I can't quite remember, but it's this super cool black guy that went from like the bottom to the top, and he hit rock bottom. And my dad took me backstage to meet this guy, and I was so excited. I was like wide-eyed, and I said, what advice do you have for me? I'm like all in, I'm ready to like go. He's like, girl, you need to take a chill pill. I would just say, like, not everything's such a big deal, because our energy is our currency. So don't focus on the things that aren't going the way that you want them to go. Like they will line themselves up. It's not that big of a deal. Just keep running your race. Keep your eyes on your own yoga mat. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Like keep running your race. Tunnel vision and focus.
Yeah. Because looking sometimes you're like, how is this person doing this? Like I'm doing it so much better. My stuff's better. Like I can service better. I have more years of experience, whatever, like the stories, people create those stories in their head. But we don't know what they did, what they didn't do. Not everyone's showing all their cards, right? We see social media showing like it's super easy. It's not super easy. That's one thing I always talk about, because people are like, you make it look so easy. Holy moly. Like my life is not super easy. Like as soon as things get like on a cruise control, I'm like, something's wrong. I need to be adding something to my plate. I'm like, this is getting too easy. What could I do next to grow?
Consistency is bad. That's when I don't like that at all. That's when I'm
I do it to myself, but I create it, but it's not easy. I have a lot of help. I'm growing my team. I have my parents help a lot. I have a nanny. I have a cleaning lady. I have ship delivery. I have a lot of other stuff. But the point is I'm saying this to you guys, not to like show off. I'm saying this to you guys because you can't do it by yourself. It's not possible. Even half of my marketing and Anthony's marketing are tied together. We have our VAs, marketing VAs, like working together. And like sometimes my VA is doing stuff for Anthony just to like get it done. And we're like helping each other, because it's not always possible. There's weeks where I can't even look at the channels about marketing, and Anthony's just like pushing it, which is these last few weeks. But there's other times where he's like in his thing, and I'm like, okay, guys, like let's do it. Like I'll review, send it to me, like I'll approve these things. So that's the point. Is like we can't do it by ourselves, and you need to find ways to collaborate to get you to that next step. And that's like, this is a perfect example of it. We grew our main businesses by collaborating on this damage control. So find other ways to collaborate with other people, whether it's in the business or, related to the business or even out of the business. Get creative in how you can leverage and share strategies. And
the
right?
more and more that you can collaborate. I mean, I always joke, like, collaboration is the new black. Like, you do go so much farther, faster, and we have so much more fun when we're actually collaborating with other people that light us up. And we just, like, if we can get ourselves, because life and business, all of it, it's all energy. So the more that you can get yourself in the room with the high energy people that are thinking farther ahead than you, that are doing things on another level, the more that it's going to force yourself to get up to that next level. So I am all about the collaboration. I think that is so power packed. I mean, my career, even for my speaking events and my speaking engagements, it's all because of those relationships, of those people that I've built relationships with, and that, like, opportunities come out of the woodwork because I have put in the time and the effort, and God, like, from the north, south, east, and west, I'm always praying for supernatural and divine connections. And it's amazing how, he lines it up.
He lines it up, but you go get it too.
Yep,
like,
absolutely.
So like, you were saying how you're just like a DM queen, like making relationships with people, reaching out, somebody you don't know, you look up to them, they're doing something really cool, or you like the way they do business, or you like the way they put themselves out there, and you're just like reaching out to them and like trying to connect, which I think is a super amazing way to spread your, it's another way to like spread your roots, right? Your wings, whatever.
Well, what's crazy? Okay, well, even how I met you, Melinda. Let's take it back to this. So I reached out to this gal, didn't know her from Adam, powerhouse on Instagram, Pastor Nicole Crank. I was just starting up a podcast, and I was like, how legit would it be to have her on my podcast? She has thousands and thousands of followers on Instagram. I'm like, this is a long shot, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? So I'm like, I'm shooting her a DM. Within 5 minutes, she responds back and she says, I would love to. And I'm like, wait, what? That's awesome. So she literally jumps on my podcast. It was phenomenal. It helped that podcast get even that much larger of a reach. And then on top of that, she invited me to a women's empowerment event. And she said, I want to put you in the VIP area and you can invite 2 friends. And I said, oh, thanks so much, Pastor Nicole. But like, I don't have friends here. I'm from Minnesota. I was born and raised in Minnesota. She's like, well, figure it out. And I was like, okay, well, I got to find someone. So I literally go in my on Instagram and I'm like, who do I know from Florida? So I find this girl named Sandy, and she had said, oh, hey, I'd love to keep connected, probably a year ago. I'm like, I don't know who this Sandy is at all, but I'm just going to reach out to her. I reach out to Sandy and I said, hey girl, I know that this is so
Who's been on the show? Sandy Glant.
Yeah, Sandy Glant. I freaking love her on another level. Little did I know what an incredible woman she is. And I said, I know that this is super random, but I'd love to invite you to this women's empowerment event. And she said, great. Can I bring my girlfriend, Bethany Martinez and Sandy Glant? We show up, we become besties, and like the rest is history. They invited me on a yacht. I got to know Alan. I got to know Frank Kern. I got to know like some of the big guys in the field. And it was just crazy to think that one Instagram DM to a woman that I had no idea that she would say yes, but it was the trickle down effect to almost my whole circle now. And that's how I met you, Melinda, was through Bethany.
Yep.
So it's so cool when you put in the time and you put in the effort, like work like everything depends on you, pray like everything depends on God, because it does.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So guys, don't feel afraid. What's the worst they can do? Ignore you?
Exactly.
Say no.
Totally. 100%.
That's the worst thing. And so it's really a testament to just putting yourself out there and asking the question.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that question may be.
So Sandy found you right on IG?
Yeah, Sandy sent me a message. I don't know how she found me, But I literally sent her a message back and we just started to become friends. And then it was just when the opportunity presented itself where I'm like, who do I know in Florida? And I'm like, I know this cute gal. Like, I don't really know her, but I kind of know her. And I just sent the message.
All right.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Let me ask one. So you said in the beginning, what is your why, and crunch your numbers. I want to ask, what is your why? What motivates you to get up in the morning?
I love empowering people to live at their highest potential. That is what drives me so hard, because when I can breathe life and belief into someone that they can go farther, faster, and they can live out their true mission of what's been placed on their heart. Oh my gosh, I can hardly sleep at night. I'm so driven by helping people win and live out their God-given potential.
I love that,
I
right?
love that too, man.
Helping people believe in themselves. You know that meme, hang out with me long enough and you'll start to believe in yourself. I love that one. I feel like I can vibe with that. I get that a lot. So I really like that. For me, that's one of my things too.
And you're amazing at that, Melinda. You know, so are you, Anthony. Like it's so exciting when you can help people see a bigger, badass version of themselves that they couldn't see before. And then they start to live at that potential, because people are limited by how they see themselves and their identity. So the more that you can paint that vision of you're a rock star, you're phenomenal, you have what it takes. Like, you've got this, girl, like, let's go. My job description early on in the game, I would always joke, like, I'm a fear crusher and a faith builder for the people that I'm serving, and I'm helping them reach their goals. That's what I do.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's a good feeling to put people in houses, but not only that, it's getting there. What drives me is figuring out how to get borrower A and have them finish all the way through the roadmap and believe in their beliefs on trying to get it done. You know what I mean? Like, even with agents, like all the agents that Melinda and myself, we help out, they listen. And the biggest thing that gives me goosebumps is when they're like, yeah, we listened to your series and it worked, and now our business is working and we're making money for our family. I mean, that's what it's about. That's why we do this. Let me ask one last question here, and I'll be done with the questions. Key factors to achieving success. You went over them, but what are like the bullet points?
Oh, man. My book.
In like 3 minutes.
I
got like A, B, C, and D. Give me 3 of them. That's what I really want to know.
Should I go get my book, Anthony?
I gotta read it. I definitely.
Yeah. I'll send it to you. Send me your address. I won't send you Unleash Lady Boss. I'll send you the Boss Life Blueprint. We'll paint that vision and picture of what your ultimate life looks like, and then get crystal clear on your why and who you're here to serve. And then the next piece is being able to, and I just did this on my Instagram story of talking about like getting so all into mastering your mindset, because where the mind goes, the man follows. If you think that you can kill it and you can slay it, you better believe it's just a matter of time before you can. Or if you don't, you're going to hold yourself prisoner in perpetuity. Like, it's just what it is. So you need to ask yourself, is this a story or is this a fact? So I would say that's the biggest thing. Paint the vision, paint the picture, get crystal clear on your why, dominate those doubts, and jump out in faith and get after your thing.
Awesome.
Like just like the key to success in a business is to create a business plan. Like, the key to, having a successful life is defining what that means, right? Mm-hmm. What does that mean for you?
It's so important, especially now, like the media and everyone and their mother is telling you all these things about how you should define success, how you should define fulfillment. And at the end of the day, like, that is your job. And so you have to get crystal clear on what is my definition of success and run accordingly, because I do not want to. This is kind of a funny, like, random thing, but this is what I'll say is that you do not want to trade your life with someone else's life that if they don't have much going on for themselves, I don't care about their opinions. Like, let's keep the main thing. Run your race.
Yeah, because like you're like other people's opinions. Well, that's a whole other conversation, you know, and keeping things like, because it, you know, if there's a couple like sayings on this about taking other people's advice. If you won't take their advice on, you know, how, like grow a business, why are you going to take advice for them like on how you're doing? And I'm going to butcher it, so let me not. But there's some great stuff out there about not taking other people's advice. Most people don't really have much value to add in a lot of stuff.
Don't share those big dreams with small minds.
That's a good one.
Financial advice.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Don't take financial advice from a broke person.
Right?
That's so good. That's so good. All right. Well, listen, there's a bunch of good nuggets we talked about today. I appreciate your time, Stefanie. This was so good. We're wrapping up our final hour. If you guys don't already follow Stefanie, her information is there in the chat. But what's your Instagram handle again?
It's at ladyboss_SP. And
awesome.
I love connecting with people in the DM. So reach out. I'd love to be a resource for you guys. And
all the information, guys, because I see everyone asking where we can find events, all the information will be sent to you after this event. We'll have everything set.
And we have some worksheets and great little items that Stefanie shared with us to send to you guys, so you could start wrapping up some ideas on paper and building out your empires. So I hope that you guys have some good nuggets from today. I definitely wrote a few down for myself. I always do when I'm with Stefanie. So thank you so much for sharing your nuggets with our audience. And thanks, Anthony, for another great show.
You guys, I so appreciate you being in my circle and being my go-to guys and go-to lady boss. You guys are phenomenal. So thanks for the invite, and yeah, cheering you guys on. Let's go.
All right. Likewise. Talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.